Hello and welcome to The Print. Today we're joined by TJ Abraham, an anti-corruption activist whose case against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has created quite a few political ripples in Karnataka. His case is now being heard by the High Court of Karnataka, in which he's alleged that Siddaramaiah and his family benefited through, illegal allotment of land to his family worth several crores. Thank you so much, Mr. Abraham, for joining us. Sir, if you could briefly tell us, what in these allegations prove that Siddaramaiah's family indulged in corruption, sir?
See, the history goes back to 1997 when there was a notification for the formation of Devanur layout, third stage in Mysore. After that notification, the land was occupied by MUDA and they started developing the land. In between, there was a denotification of that land, whichever they claim is theirs. That particular village, I will not even repeat their village name and the survey number and all that because I'm going past that. A particular survey number and that village. And after the denotification, the lands continue to be on the records in the name of MUDA. So MUDA develops that land, carves out sites, roads, parks and all that. And from 2001 onwards, they start allotting sites to beneficiaries in that layout, Devanur layout. Now in 2004, the brother-in-law of Mr. Siddaramaiah, he gets into a sale agreement, sale contract. It's a sale deed itself which is executed by one Mr. Devraj, who's related to, he has a relationship with the original owner of the particular village and the survey number, which they are now claiming belonged to them. To whom? The CM's family. 2004, a person comes and he sells it to Mr. Mallikarjun Swamy and he says, I am handing over the land to you. Who is he to hand over the land? Because his land is already with MUDA. And the MUDA has already distributed sites to several beneficiaries. Now it's no more village land, no more an agricultural land. It's developed land. So the sale is executed and he hands over the possession. Who hands over the possession? This Devraj, the character, he hands over the possession when he never was in possession. And MUDA was always in possession. And then 1 year later, when all these is happening when Mr. Siddaramaiah was the DCM. Okay. Now next is after a year or so, Mr. Mallikarjun Swamy, the brother-in-law of Siddaramaiah, goes for a conversion of the land. What land are you going to convert? It's no more agricultural land for you to convert. You're going converting a developed layout into another layout. So he goes and uses the old name title, old village name, and he says, I've got it because I've got a sale deed in my name. Now this land has to be converted. Yes, under the influence of or the supervision of the chief minister, they then DCM. Things are moving fast. And the DC, he goes to a level of giving a false on the spot inspection report, saying, I've gone and seen the land. What did you see? Did you see agricultural land there? Did you see a village there, land? You have seen a land which, you have not gone out of your office, that's for sure, we know. If at all you had gone there, then you would have seen the roads, sites, parks and all that. And how will you classify that as a village land, agricultural land? So he gives a bogus inspection report. The next is the Tahsildar goes and gives a bogus report, surveyor, all these guys. All these guys have done that because of the presence of Mr. Siddaramaiah. Then about another 5 years later, 2010, this gentleman Devraj gifts that property to the village, so-and-so village, so-and-so survey number, 3.16 acres is gifted by him to his sister, that is Mr. Siddaramaiah's wife. When the land did not belong to you, you only had paper, one piece of paper, and you're saying you're handing over that land to somebody as a gift. When you say you're giving a gift, You need to have a bouquet. Where's the bouquet? You have not carried anything with you. You have a piece of paper. That's all. So she gets the gift deed in her name. So she's also now an owner of a property, wired up bunch of papers only on paper. Never had possession, never had right over it. Because already a lot of people have been given sites and they are the owners there. They cannot claim ownership of these sites which is distributed to others. Now, from there on, she makes an application in 2014 to the government when the present CM was the CM at that time, his first term. They make an application and she says, I want compensation because MUDA has taken over the land. My land. When did you have that land at all for MUDA to take it over? It was never with you. MUDA took it over long ago. If there is a dispute about that takeover, then the original owners should have gone to the civil court and they should have fought it out and established their right and then got their land back or got a compensation for that land. Now, how do you in between come and say this is you purchased a revenue land? You cannot buy a revenue land because there is no more revenue land there. It's lost its character. So now she asked for that, and within 1 year, the policy in the state changes from 40-60 compensation to 50-50 compensation. Okay. Then the matter is silent for some time. 2017, several meetings happened in MUDA. They discuss the compensation that is to be given to her because in lieu of the land which she claims was hers, which in fact was never there with her. And then the matter goes up to 2021. She again makes another application. She says, I need my compensation again. And there's a meeting again. And in that meeting, in the two meetings, crucial meetings, the son of Mr. Siddaramaiah is also present. And ultimately, the 14 sites land up into their name, into their family. Now, when they got the sale deed registered, there was no agricultural land and no possession of land. And no possession or no land was handed over to the brother-in-law. When the brother-in-law got it converted, it was a bogus conversion. When there was no agricultural land and he was not in possession of the land, it was MUDA who was in possession. When the gift deed was made, there was no agricultural land and no possession, and it was MUDA, a developed land which MUDA was in possession of. Then when she seeks compensation, she was never in ownership. And when finally it is decided to give her in lieu of a particular land, that particular land never existed.
So, Mr. Siddaramaiah states that this particular land was was first encroached in 2010 when the BJP was in power, and then allotted to him in 2021 again when the BJP was in power. So he's making the argument that he was never in power to have influenced any sort of decision that eventually got him these plots.
I'm just clarifying. He said 2010.
Yes, he had said 2010 is when the land was initially, between 2011 and 14, his land was encroached.
2011 and 14.
Yeah.
2011 and 14, it was not his land because, 2011. He claims it was his land because his wife was there. But unfortunately, he has not seen the 2014 application made by her, where she has herself stated very clearly that the said lands were taken over by MUDA in 2001. Roads were formed, parks were carved out, sites were distributed to people since 2001. So how did MUDA occupy the land in 2011? 2010. Not my statement, it's her statement. But I know for sure that the records show that it was MUDA who was in possession till 2004.
Also, you having to go after this case, why did you have to eventually approach the governor?
See, according to the Prevention of Corruption Act, I'm supposed to go to I'll have to file a private complaint. After I lodge a complaint with the Lokayukta police or the concerned police, if they don't act, I'm supposed to go to the court with a PCR. There is a circular which has come out in 2023. I know that I'm not supposed to go to the competent authority for sanction before there's a direction from the special court. But in our state, in September 23, Justice Naga Prasanna, he has passed an order. In that order, it is very specific that a private complainant should append a prior approval granted by the competent authority to file a private complaint itself. So am I wrong in going now?
Okay.
I followed the dictum of the High Court. Now, I am not interested in what happens anywhere else. As far as I am concerned, the High Court has told me, now, if the Act says so and so, the judge knows. It is not that he is not unaware there is an Act. He knows. And he has passed an order. I am respecting that order.
Now, there are also allegations. The Congress has made some allegations against you as well, stating that you are a person with criminal antecedents, and you've been propped up by the opposition to destabilize a non-BJP government in Karnataka. Now, what do you say to these?
Firstly, criminal antecedents. How many people have filed their nomination papers, their affidavits, without any criminal case at all in the state? Is there one you can tell me? Okay. No. Now, what is the nature of the allegation against me? Is it genuine or fake? The people who read those complaints will not understand. It has to be tried in the court, and I'm waiting for the trial, and I'm waiting for an exoneration. And I have the guts to go and say I'm not approaching the High Court to get my case dismissed, because I want the trial to happen. Name one politician in Karnataka who has not approached the High Court when there is a case registered against him. That was a very serious charge against me. There's a complaint made. I have not gone to the High Court because after 3 months, if the charge sheet is not filed, I know, and the world knows, I can go to the High Court and say, charge sheet, the time is lost, so dismiss my case. Dismissal is not what I want. It is not for me to escape from the case. It is my exoneration which I'm waiting for. So I'm waiting. I'm willing to take all this humiliation till I'm exonerated.
Now, how are you approaching this case? What is the strategy, you approaching the case? Because the Karnataka government says it has a fairly, straightforward case where there is no wrongdoing on the part of Siddaramaiah.
See, all that they have said, there are two things they have constantly been saying. There's nothing wrong. Why do you go to the High Court? Why did you run to the High Court if there's nothing wrong? Come, face the trial. The second thing is abusing me. That is a very helpless situation that they are abusing me because they don't have any other alternative. If they had any material with them, they should have taken my complaint and they should have sat there. Those 15 ministers who sat there, did any one of them had the guts to read each paragraph that I've submitted and say, this paragraph is not true, this paragraph is not true, this paragraph is not true. Not a single paragraph was countered by them. Everything was true. Because they are unable to answer those questions, they kept harping on attacking me personally. Do it. You're exhibiting your failure.
Do you think that the governor followed every single step according to the constitution when he cleared the way for his prosecution?
See, when I went and approached the governor, yesterday in the court, there was I think he was repeating it about 3 or 4 times. When a blue-eyed boy goes in, you get immediate attention and all that. I'll show you my mail. You see it before you go. 19th of July, I asked the governor's office to give me an audience with the governor. And 26th is when I get an audience. 19th to 26th. That's what a blue-eyed boy's speedy, what do you say? Appointment. I waited. But when I waited and I got the appointment, 26th, I went there at 11 o'clock. I spent about 1.5 hours explaining to them. See, now your viewers would have understood what I said in just about 7-8 minutes. They would have understood what is the case. But in my case, every paragraph I had to read, explain, show the document and tell him. Then ultimately, it was like he was convinced. Oh my God, is it so? It appears to be something which needs to be investigated. Now, what he asked me was, how can I give you sanction when I'm not supposed to do that before the trial court gives you a direction to ask me for the. So I immediately told him, I have the circular of the High Court. That is why I have come here. I know it's the other way that I like to do. So I went back to him at 4 o'clock, 4:30 and gave him the circular and the CVC circular also. The circular very clearly mentions whatever is required. And I followed the High Court order. Justice Nagprasanna is the one who was given this order.
Since you also comment on state and national level politics, what do you make of the politics that is being played out because of this case? Do you think you've been caught up in the middle because there are also accusations that you've become a pawn of another political party? Now these are allegations and counter allegations. Now what do you make of the politics that's being played out?
See, I do comment on political issues independently. But in this, I'm not mixing politics at all, because it's a criminal case. Now, when they say I'm a pawn, whose pawn? Obviously, I should be the pawn of BJP and the JDS, right? I have a case against Mr. Kumaraswamy, which is pending before the Supreme Court. How do I become his pawn? I have a case against Mr. Yediyurappa, which is pending before the Supreme Court. How do you become BJP's pawn? I have a case against Nirani. I have a case against several others in the mining case. And the mining case is being monitored by the Supreme Court. The SIT is found by the Supreme Court in my case. I am independent. I'm very clear on that. Nobody can use me as a pawn. No way.
Then, there's another question that's being asked that, we know that you've gone after SM Krishna in the past, Dharam Singh, HD Kumaraswamy, Yediyurappa, and then Siddaramaiah. Now, there's a question that keeps coming up sometimes online and other places, that what's in it for you? What is in it for Mr. Abraham that he's going after these people?
See, we find in our country, people just walking when they see somebody throwing garbage on the middle of the road and just going, we don't bother to even interfere with that fellow. We don't even have the guts to go and ask him, why do you do this? I won't let him go. I will never let anybody in my sight to just drop something like that and get away. Somebody has to bell the cat. Okay. Why shouldn't I go after them? Just because the entire world feels let it go, why should I let it go? I don't want to die a shameless death. I want to die with pride. Say, I didn't flow with the current. I may look odd, but then I'm straight. It doesn't matter. I don't have to follow the majority. Because the majority need not be right. Minority could be right. But the majority has its own way. Doesn't matter. Let them have their way. I'm a very minuscule minority. But I know I'm right. See, let me give you an example. In a 5 judges bench, I read it in an article by one of the top jurists in this country. If 4 judges call it a cow, dog, if they say that cow is a dog, and only one judge says, no, it is a cow, will the cow change? Just because the majority has said it is a dog, it's not a cow, will the cow become a dog? The single person who said it is right. So I want to be that single man, that's enough.
So now finally, where do you see this case going? Are you also demanding Siddaramaiah's, resignation, or do you want just a logical end to this particular case?
I'm looking at a logical end. I'm not interested whether he resigns or not. Resignation is not a constitutional issue, requirement. It is a moral requirement. Who am I to dictate morality to him? That should come from within. Morality is something which comes in within themselves. I leave it to him. He and his morals. Why should I be asking him, come on, morality, come down, resign? That doesn't matter.
has anyone from the Congress or any other political party reached out to you when you have a case against them? And has there been any either trying to buy you out or trying to threaten you? Has there been any such calls, any such communication?
See, when I took the nice case, I had an advocate who met me at on the steps of the Supreme Court and told me, "Sir, you should take this nice case." I said, "No, I'm very busy with the mining case. That's enough. That's a huge one." He said, "No, sir. Anybody who takes up those cases are threatened, or bought, or silenced. It doesn't work with you. That is why we're asking you to take." That is a certification which runs through me, and everybody knows about it. Initially, when the mining case was taken up, a few feelers were sent. And when they knew there's nothing happening, they stopped.
Last question. Now, you've gone after 4 CMs in the past. Siddaramaiah perhaps is your 5th. Now, there's another person that they keep comparing you with is Mr. Subramanian Swamy, saying, you'd like to knock off sitting CMs. What do you say to something like that?
Oh, they compare me with Mr. Subramanian Swamy, I'm honored. No, he's a very eminent person. I'm so happy that somewhere down the line they are comparing me, or I'm not even a shadow of Subramanian Swamy. But then why not emulate what somebody does? How many people have emulated what Subramanian Swamy does? It's not that I agree to everything that he does. There are certain things which he does which nobody else would venture to do. And I want to be that. And I'm happy about it. And I'll continue to be that.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us.